Welcome back to another episode of Survival Minecraft on the World of Solitude server. And on today's episode, it's going to be a quick one because we're going to be building a mushroom farm. So let's jump into it. So as you know, I'm going to be working on trying to get my villagers to the best trade possible. And to do that, I need to be able to create some weakness potions. Well, what does a weakness potion need? It needs fermented spider eyes. And what do fermented spider eyes need? They need sugar and mushrooms. Brown mushrooms to be specific. So we're going to do a quick little episode this time on building a very simple little mushroom farm that you can set up on your own base. It is a manual farm, but it has an automatic collection system. So stay tuned and we will just get this all set up. Okay, so the first thing we got to do is we got to build an 11 by 11 square out here that we're going to be building this farm in. And it can be above ground. So we're just going to start here. I'm going to put a corner piece down. And then, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then another corner. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And we just keep this going around all the way. Okay, so the middle one over here, we're going to want to knock out this middle one. And we're going to change, we're going to dig this section out like so. That was maybe a little bit overexcited, so let's just fill in some of these holes a bit. Okay, so we want a 3 wide trench in here, and then we're going to throw in a chest right here, and then we're going to dig out this row and this row so that we have this trough across here. Super easy to do. So the next thing in here is we're going to grab some hoppers, and we're throwing a hopper in here, and then a row of hoppers that all connect into it, so the middle one feeds into the chest and all of the other hoppers feed into that middle one. Basically, we're doing a really simple water collection system here is what's happening. So it's very similar to ones that we've had in like the spider farms and all that kind of stuff. So for now, I am just going to maybe keep a little bit of lighting in here. I shouldn't have busted those torches out because we don't want any mobs spawning in here right now until we get the water in place. So next is we are going to throw a stair right here. And then from that stair, we are going to put a temporary block on the top of it. Just like so. And then we're going to come out with half slabs, 4, and then we're going to put a piece of dirt at the end of it. So the dirt, whoops, that's not where it's supposed to be. The dirt is right in the middle of this area. So if we're standing here, we're looking at the center of every point in here. Basically, this is going to be the spot where we're going to be growing our mushrooms from. And we'll be able to plant it there and then bone meal it up, that type of thing. So now, just to kind of clean things up on the outside here, let's take our stairs and just run right around it like so. All the way around, just so that it's got like a solid foundation to this. This just takes a few seconds while we pound this out. And, you know, try not to be a complete tool about where you place your blocks, not like I usually am. Like that one, I mean, seriously. Slow down, it'll go faster. That's what my dad used to always say to me. And, you know, pieces of grass, too. Those can be problematic. They will hang up every time you want to try to plant something. All right, perfect. So now this is just kind of, you know, cleaned up a little bit on the outside. It doesn't look as derpy. So I'm going to take some of these torches that we grabbed here, and I'm just going to stick them back around on the outside just to keep things away from, you know, any monster potentials that are going to come along and eat us. Okay, dokie. So now what we need to do is we need to bring up each of these sides up 8, including the block that we're on right now. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. There we go. And just throw a half slab on the top of that. We'll come across this way to basically box it in. Eventually, we're going to be putting a full roof on this. So again, up this 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The reason why we're doing 8 is when we're growing the mushroom, it caps the height that the mushroom can grow so that we can still reach to harvest it without having to put a block down every time to be able to harvest it out. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And that was 8 because I didn't count the bottom one as we put it up. So come straight back like this. And then we'll do this side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, let's finish capping this off. So the reason we're putting up this roof is we need to be able to shade that dirt block that's down there, because it does require being shaded from any, so that the light source is not too high so that the mushrooms will grow on it. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is just step this down a bit because I like my roofs to have a little bit of a step down. I'll probably come back along later and throw a light gray carpet on top of this just to spawn proof it, because this is a top block that we're putting down here right now, and I don't want mobs spawning on the top of it. Because I've got the wool farm handy enough that I can go along and spawn proof this at any point to be able to make sure that it's working exactly the way we want it. And of course I left another derpy block placement there. I'm the king of derpy block placements. And we're almost done wrapping this all the way around. Okay, the next thing, we're going to switch over to solid blocks in here now. And we're just going to fill up some solid blocks in here all the way across, because this is the build height that we want to keep. And it's just to give it like a nice sloped roof is what we're doing here. So now hopefully I brought enough of these. I'm not sure if I did or not. But I'm pretty sure if I put the half slabs together, they stay as separate half slabs. So I might have to go and get us some more full blocks because I probably didn't bring enough. Oh, maybe. Well, I think we'll be okay. I think we'll be just fine. Perfect. Okay, now we're just going to half slab this again. Of course, these are bottom blocks, so we don't have to worry about spawn here. Oops. Change those back to the half slabs as we rain out. Okay, perfect. So now we've got a roof on this thing, and it makes it, kind of look finished off. And we're going to get this one block that we've wrecked here. So now I got to go and get some. I'm going to get some stained glass to put one layer of glass on this, and then go get some water buckets. And then I got to get some mushrooms. So give me a few minutes and I'll be right back. Okay, so I've added some stained glass around the outside of this just to kind of keep anything from crawling into here. I've added the water in here as the drop points for any of the mushrooms that end up dropping. If we hit F3, and we should be able to see here a lighting level of the block that we are facing. And the current lighting level is 9 right here. So or sky is 9 and the block itself is 3, so we won't have any worries about what's going to spawn on that. Now we just keep a mushroom on it and then we won't have to worry about it. Of course, all I have on me right now is some red mushrooms, so I've got to go do a quick zip out to, I believe, the roof of the nether. I want to say there's a whole bunch of brown mushrooms out on the roof of the nether. So over where my gold farm is, I might head that way real quick and grab some brown mushrooms and then come back and we'll grow some brown mushrooms in this and see how it goes. So bear with me and I will be right back. And I am back here up on the roof of the nether, and lo and behold, look what we've got. We've got brown mushrooms. I'm just going to grab up these brown mushrooms here real quick. I'm not entirely sure why they grow on the roof of the nether, but there's like plenty of them out here as well too, so we'll grab them up here real quick. So we've got a little bit of a collection to get started with. Oh, there's another zombie pigman that kind of flew down from this drop point. Oh, there's also red mushrooms up here too. But it'll be nice to be able to have these available at our base rather than having to come up here every time we need mushrooms to create the fermented spider eyes. So this should be a pretty good start. We've got like 30 some odd to get going with here, so we can pound through and get a bunch of these growing up. So I'll pop back over to the mushroom farm. Alright, we've made it back from the nether. We've got our brown mushrooms. I went and got some bone meal. I went and took some of the bone blocks that I had and busted them down into bone meal. So we've got an inventory of bone meal to play with here. Already planted this one mushroom, so we'll give this one a few little shots. And of course, every once in a while with the red mushrooms, because they grow so low, they end up, you know, hitting you. It's not a big deal. It doesn't cause that much damage, but you just got to be careful of that. And then we can just axe this out of here. Axe apparently is the most effective tool to use. And of course, because of the height, we don't have to worry about going over. Of course, keep your shift key handy because you don't want to end up walking off the edge of this. And now we're going to switch over to brown mushrooms and bone meal. Oh, that one bone meal right away. Again, this is set up ideally so that we don't have to reach for anything while we're chopping everything down. So we should be able to reach every bit of this mushroom, and they're all dropping in and falling into the sorter, and I just fell into the water. Look at that. Well, now I gotta bust this out of here because I misclimbed that. There we go. And we can finish busting this out. But all of the pieces, if they don't end up in my inventory, they will end up into the inventory, or into the actual auto little catcher that's down there. So, we don't reach all of them, do we? Not quite all. I think I might leave in this design. I think I might just leave the front open a little bit more because, I mean, it does look like you're gonna fall in occasionally while you're trying to get all these out of here. So. Not a big deal if you do. You could just leap up and catch that and be able to get them. But let's see what we got into our chest here. So we ended up with 6 mushrooms to the one that we planted. I think that's a pretty reasonable harvest. I wonder if that's pretty consistent. So we'll give it a try here. Let's actually plant a mushroom and we'll throw some bone meal on it. And let's see if it's pretty close. So we have 45 in our inventory right now. 6 of them got caught in the little collection system, so we're just going to reach around here, gather up this stuff, get any of these ones that are little stragglers that got away from us. There we go. So we ended up collecting 2 more in our inventory. And, oh wow, there's 16 in here this time. So it's pretty random on how much you end up getting from it. We also are getting brown mushroom blocks as well, too. Let's have a look at the brown mushroom block, because that's actually a really decent looking color. I kind of like the color of that. That's really cool. And then, of course, we did break it, and it turned into another mushroom for us. But, you know, that is a really cool block. So that's another thing that you can farm out of this as well. So I know this was a really quick tutorial, this one here, but it's something that you needed. Everybody needs this because it's really important to be able to get those splash potions of weakness to be able to throw down and get these guys converted over to get them the better trades. And we put it right nice and close here to our villager trading post. So, guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode. I had a lot of fun. I mean, it was a quick, simple little build. This is a quick little video, but it's something that we needed to do. And the next thing that we're going to be doing on the next episode is I need to redo the sugarcane farm to make it more efficient and also kind of tie it into the build theme that we're going with here. So with that said, guys, thank you for watching. Hit the like button. Comment if you've got a comment on there. and subscribe if you're new to the channel, and share it. Share it on your social media platforms, your Facebooks, your Twitters, your Instagrams, wherever you like to hang your hat in social media. So feel free to share it out. But again, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.